Ethan Parker had loved Olivia Carter for as long as he could remember. They grew up in the same small town in Oregon, USA. They went to the same school, sat in the same classrooms, and spent countless afternoons together. To everyone around them, they looked perfect for each other. But there was one problem. Ethan loved Olivia. Olivia loved someone else. For years, Ethan kept his feelings hidden. He was the boy who always showed up when Olivia needed help. When her car broke down, Ethan was there. When she failed an exam and cried, Ethan was there. When her parents divorced and her world fell apart, Ethan sat beside her and listened for hours. Yet Olivia never saw him the way he saw her. To her, Ethan was her best friend. Nothing more. One rainy afternoon during their senior year of high school, Olivia smiled at Ethan and said something that shattered his heart. "Ethan, I think I'm in love." His heart raced. For one brief second, he thought maybe she was talking about him. "Really?" he asked. Olivia nodded excitedly. "His name is Ryan." The smile on Ethan's face froze. Ryan Mitchell, the captain of the basketball team. Tall, handsome, confident, everything Ethan wasn't. "Oh," Ethan whispered. "Isn't it amazing?" Olivia said. "Every time I see him, my heart starts beating so fast." Ethan forced a smile. Yeah, amazing. That night he couldn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling for hours, wondering why the universe could be so cruel. The girl he loved was dreaming about another man. Still, he stayed. He watched Olivia and Ryan start dating. He watched her smile at Ryan the way he wished she would smile at him. And every day, Ethan silently broke a little more. Years passed. After graduation, they all moved to different cities. Ethan attended college in Seattle and studied software engineering. Olivia moved to Los Angeles to pursue a career in marketing. Ryan went with her. Despite the distance, Ethan and Olivia remained friends. They talked occasionally. Every phone call hurt. Because every conversation eventually became about Ryan. Ryan got promoted. Ryan surprised me with flowers. Ryan and I are thinking about getting engaged. Each sentence felt like another knife in Ethan's heart. But he never complained. He never confessed. He never told her the truth, because he believed her happiness mattered more than his feelings. By the age of 26, Ethan had become a successful software developer. He earned more money than he ever imagined. He bought a beautiful apartment in Seattle. People admired him. Women noticed him. But none of it mattered. Every achievement felt empty. Because the one person he wanted beside him was still Olivia. One winter evening, Ethan received an unexpected phone call. It was Olivia. She was crying. "Olivia?" "Ethan," she whispered. "What happened?" There was a long silence. Then she said the words he never expected to hear. "Ryan left me." Ethan felt his chest tighten. "What?" "He cheated on me." The room suddenly felt cold. Olivia cried uncontrollably. "We were together for 8 years, Ethan. 8 years, and he left me for someone else." Ethan closed his eyes. Part of him was heartbroken for her. Another part hated Ryan for causing her pain. For hours he listened as Olivia cried, just like he always had. When the call ended, Ethan sat alone in silence. The woman he loved was finally single. But he felt no happiness, only sadness. Because he never wanted her to suffer. Months passed. Olivia struggled to move on. She lost confidence in herself. She stopped trusting people. She stopped believing in love. One day, Ethan flew to Los Angeles to visit her. When Olivia opened the door, Ethan barely recognized her. The bright, cheerful girl he once knew looked exhausted. They spent the day together. For the first time in years, Olivia laughed. A real laugh. The kind Ethan hadn't heard since high school. As the sun set, they sat on a beach watching the waves crash against the shore. Olivia looked at him. "You know something?" "What?" "You've always been there." Ethan smiled. I try. No, Olivia said softly. You don't understand. Everyone leaves eventually. But you never did. Ethan looked away, because hearing those words hurt. She appreciated him, but she still didn't love him. Months turned into a year. Their friendship grew stronger. They talked every day. Sometimes Ethan wondered if things were changing. Maybe she was finally starting to see him differently. Maybe all those years of patience were worth it. Then one evening Olivia called him. She sounded excited. Ethan, I met someone. His heart instantly sank. Again, not again. Really? He asked quietly. His name is Noah. Ethan felt as if history were repeating itself. Olivia continued talking, but Ethan barely heard anything. All he could think was, after everything, after all these years, she still doesn't see me. That night, Ethan made a decision. For the first time in his life, he chose himself. He stopped answering every call immediately. He stopped rearranging his schedule for Olivia. He stopped living for someone who would never love him back. Instead, he focused on himself. He traveled. He started exercising. He built a startup company. He made new friends. And slowly, the pain began to fade. 2 years later, Ethan's company became a huge success. Technology magazines featured his story. Investors offered millions of dollars. For the first time, Ethan felt genuinely proud of himself. Not because Olivia noticed, but because he had finally learned to value his own life. One evening, he attended a charity event in New York City. That night, he met Emma Wilson. Emma wasn't trying to impress anyone. She wasn't chasing status. She wasn't interested in Ethan's money. She simply enjoyed talking to him. For hours, they laughed together. And something felt different. Comfortable, natural, real. Over the following months, they spent more time together. Emma listened when Ethan spoke. She remembered small details. She supported his dreams. Most importantly, she chose him, not as a backup, not as a friend, not as an option. She chose him first. A year later, they fell deeply in love. One snowy evening in Central Park, Ethan proposed. Emma said yes. For the first time in his life, Ethan felt complete. Not because he finally got Olivia, but because he finally found someone who loved him the way he deserved to be loved. A few months before the wedding, Ethan received a message. It was from Olivia. Can we meet? Ethan agreed. They met at a cafe in Seattle. When Olivia walked in, she smiled sadly. You look happy, she said. I am. She looked down. I heard you're getting married. Ethan nodded. Olivia remained silent for a long moment. Then tears appeared in her eyes. Ethan, what is it? I think I made the biggest mistake of my life. His heart stopped. For years he had imagined hearing those words, but now they felt different. We spent so much time together, Olivia continued. You were always there. You cared about me more than anyone. Ethan said nothing. I kept chasing people who hurt me. Tears rolled down her cheeks. And I ignored the one person who never would have. The younger version of Ethan would have celebrated. The younger version would have believed this was the happy ending. But he wasn't that person anymore. He had changed. He had grown. And he had moved on. Olivia, he said gently, you were an important part of my life. She looked at him hopefully. But I love Emma. The hope disappeared from her face. I truly hope you find happiness. Olivia nodded slowly. You deserve it. They sat in silence, neither angry, neither bitter, just two people accepting reality. Finally, Olivia smiled, a sad but sincere smile. You know something, Ethan? What? You taught me what real love looks like. Ethan looked at her quietly. You loved me even when I couldn't love you back. He smiled softly. Sometimes that's what love is. Olivia wiped away her tears, and sometimes people realize the truth too late. A few weeks later, Ethan married Emma. Friends and family gathered to celebrate. As Emma walked down the aisle, Ethan felt something he had never felt before. Peace, no regrets, no what-ifs, no unfinished dreams, just gratitude. Because life had taught him an important lesson. Love is not about chasing someone forever. Love is not about convincing someone to choose you. Love is not about sacrificing your entire happiness for a person who cannot return your feelings. Real love is mutual. Real love chooses you back. And sometimes the greatest act of love is knowing when to let go. As Ethan held Emma's hand and exchanged vows, he glanced toward the sky and smiled. The chapter he once thought would define his life had ended long ago. A better chapter had already begun, and for the first time, his heart belonged to someone who truly wanted it.